So you enjoyed the Page Master then? That's nice. Because now this is a film. This is a dark film. This is a film that if you thought I was going to do a series, I'd start with something like this. This is a film that if you look at the nice art for the film, you go, oh, look at the doggies. Look at the doggies. But if you need an example of why this film is a dark film, here's your example. This is gonna be fun. This is the dark side of the screen. We started with the Page Master just to go off lightly. A little bit of sugar. A little bit of sugar there. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Compared to the clusterfuck with the Plague Dogs. This is a PG film. Now as a kid, if you see the PG rating, you see that as a challenge. I could probably still watch that. Mom and Dad are going to let me watch that. It's only PG. But this is the first MGM animated film to be made not targeted toward families. Especially children. This is based on the book made by Richard Adams. If you don't know the name Richard Adams, he's the man who created the legend that is Watership Down. If you don't know Watership Down, lovely. The story of this film is about two dogs who escape to live a life of wild animals in farmland, and that sounds so nice. Yes, I did say escape. Where from? Research facility. What type of research? Oh, nothing. One dog's fucked with mentally, the other one's pushed to his limits until he starts drowning. What the fuck were they experimenting there again? Sounds like fun. Let's get into it. The film begins with the sound of running water. Must be a lake or something. Oh no, just a container. With creepy ass people looking down into it. And a doggy swimming. And the doggy stops swimming. And the doggy sinking. This test is to see how long the dog will go on its basic instincts. Will it fight each time? And apparently as the research goes on, it proves that yes, dogs will continue to swim more and more each time they are put into pressure. Lovely. As you can see, we are in a research facility, and already the people in the film look nice. Hang on. Research facility. What the fuck are they researching? Is their research all about the basis for survival? The basic instinct of any animal? If I get dropped off into the middle of the ocean and told I have to swim to survive, I'm gonna swim. I'm gonna swim as long as I can until my body gives out, and if a shark, even a shark comes up to me, that Ralph doesn't have to fight because he's just in a metal tank, but if a shark came up to me and I'm swimming like mental trying to get anywhere safe until my body gives in, I'm gonna kick that shark in the jaw. But I don't get it. Where is the research there? What are you supposed to gain? It's common sense that if you are pushed to your limits, you will go the distance and more until you give up. Either you mentally give up or your body gives up instead of you. That's basic, dickheads. Guess things can't get any worse. Huh. Dead dog. This is a PG, everyone. The caretaker leaves a door open to Ralph's cage, and we meet Snitter with a bandage on his head. The humans are referred to as whitecoats. Ralph is afraid to leave, but Snitter pushes it forward. You see, Snitter had a owner. Previously, he always refers to him as his master. You need to get a master to look after you instead of the whitecoats. So, Snitter wants to go out and find a new master and to leave the whitecoats behind. Snitter had a master. So what happened to him? Well, it turns out... Lovely stuff. Fuck, that sucks. But they do manage to get out of the cells. So cool, well done. Go on, kids. Have at it. Now we got to get out of the lab. But it's only a lab. Nothing too weird, is there? Oh, fuck me. Hands. And monkeys. With tubes. I hate people. So Snitter and Ralph decide to hide in the incinerator. But as the dead dog from earlier is dumped into the incinerator, ooh, doggy! They escape just before hot dog. And this is the crutch now. They've escaped. So now Snitter's idea is to go find a new master to take care of them. Let's do that. But Ralph wants to now become a wild animal to go to their basic instincts, as he's been taught to continuously do at the research lab. Snitter wants a master. Ralph wants to be a wild animal. How do you think this is going to go? We got 2 escaped dogs from a lab, now trying to find an owner whilst living as wild animals. I don't feel confident, boys. We start to learn more about Snitter's bandage on his head as he refers to the effects of the test done to him as flies in his head. A buzzing. I don't like that. It just makes me feel such a dick for being part of the species. We come across a house, but the owner is not as welcoming, which is understandable. This confuses Snitter, but you can understand. 2 dogs just randomly showing up, they're not going to be happy. Walking into a shop, the butcher is mistaken as a whitecoat, and the dogs fear that the whitecoats have taken over the land. I mean, we start to see even when they go into someone's house, they're not welcome because they're stray dogs, according to them. And even when they go to the shop and the butcher isn't as worried about the dogs are seeing him wearing a white coat, holding a knife, and run for it. This place is strange to them, and they are to it. The flies in Snitter's head has turned to fire, and he suffers a seizure. The animation is old. It is an 80s film, and it's low budget animation as well, but it's still beautiful. And because of that, it's gut-wrenching. It makes you go, "Aww," so much. Because watching a dog have a seizure because of the experiments happened to him by humans, fuck off, mate. Again, I hate people. We get exposition from the voiceovers. We never see the people, we just hear them. This is so that we can experience life more from the dog's point of view. And I like that as an artistic way to do things. Desperation for the 2 continues to grow as Ralph suggests the 2 become wild animals, but Snitter's nightmares return and this idea scares him.
To what we used to be. Real animals. Wild animals.
Oh. Snitter goes it alone for a while Ralph rests, and while doing so, Snitter actually finds them a new place to stay and to hide from the whitecoats and to hide from the rain and the weather, just to rest. So, things are kind of looking up for these 2. Well, as dead sheep turn up, something else has been eating their leftovers.
What do you call yourself?
I'm the Todd.
Called the what?
Todd, you know.
The what?
Canniest Todd on Moss and Moor.
The Todd. Attend the tale of Sweeney Todd. Todd offers to show them how to survive in the wild. But can you ever truly trust a fox? Also, Snitter takes his bandage off, revealing the length of damage caused by the experiments. Long story short, it mixes what he can see with his imagination, confusing the 2 and making them one. That's fucking cruel. So when his nightmares appear in reality, that's torture. I hate people. But the trio seem to be working smoothly together. 1 dead sheep, 1 dead duck, a couple of dead chickens, and even more exposition from the people. But this time, it's England, so it's from a pub.
I'm not biding with you lot. Me, I'm going.
Todd will constantly do this. He starts getting worried that the dogs are reckless, they don't know what's going on, and they start leaving, let's call it, evidence of their crimes behind, making it way too obvious. Like at one point, Ralph kills a sheep in the pathway for the farmer to see and to find, and it will alert all the people, and the Todd is just basically saying, "Alright pal, what are you doing? You don't be fucking up like that, you dickhead." But people are out on the hunt for the two dogs, so the Todd comes back and warns them about it. "Took you long enough, you dickhead. You only just left this morning and now you're fucking back. What do you want? A sheep?" But we notice that when Ralph is distracted, the Todd will steal anything. They make their escape through the mine, and we notice the sound of water still catches Ralph off guard, and he is frightened of it. I don't think this dog is ever going to touch water again. Day 25. A human finds Snitter. A human finds Snitter, and this guy does have a gun, but he doesn't look threatening. He doesn't look like he's just going to bam! You know? I mean, Snitter is hesitant at first, and he has gone out on his own, so if Snitter gets taken now, he's going to be leaving Ralph. Which would be a shame. You can't have Snitter and Ralph split up. So how are you going to get Snitter to go back to Ralph then?
That's it, fella. Come on, up we go.
I'm just going to shut up now. Ralph now goes on the hunt to find Snitter because he's just disappeared. He's just not returned. He's just gone. He locates what happened with the human, and because now there's more people there, they start shooting, and now they have a visual of what the dog that they're looking for looks like. Snitter confesses what happened with the human and blames everything on himself. He blames himself for what happened with his master. He blames himself for what happens just with this human. He blames himself with what happened at the lab. Things just aren't going right for Snitter, and he is getting worse and worse with the worry and the panic and the desperation. As much as Ralph goes on thinking, okay, maybe an owner wouldn't be so bad, now Snitter's in the opposite going, we need to be wild animals or I should just die. That's just sad. Snitter gets caught. His mind starts playing with him. But instead of a nightmare this time, it's a dream. And I know a nightmare mixing with your reality is bad, but a dream is actually a little bit worse for me, because this could be a happy place. And then when he snaps back into reality, that dream's gone. When he starts dreaming that he's back at home with his master, all curled up towards the fire, and then boom, now mate, you're in a shed. I'd rather him be back at home. I like Snitter. I like Ralph too. I want these two dogs to survive, and that's what the film wants for you to think. Do these dogs survive? Do you want them to survive? And you go, yes, of fucking course we do, because we like dogs better than people. I hate people. The Todd has been following Ralph as well and pulls Snitter out of the shed. Luckily, they managed to escape.
Got him!
Did shit myself when that happened though. Not gonna lie, it was what? So now the research lab itself have had to announce, oh yeah, by the way, we lost a couple dogs.
Do you have any idea what he does?
He works in a special place line. He's kept locked. But I do know it's got to do with rats.
So in Dr. Gunn's lab that was locked off where the dogs didn't get into, which we know that they didn't get into, and the Whitecoats are even reassured each other that the dogs didn't get into Dr. Gunn's office. What does Dr. Gunn do with rats?
Nothing about Gooden's work or bubonic plague. Well, I couldn't, could I? I didn't even know he was working with the damn plague.
He's doing tests on the bubonic plague. I hate people. We also start to see that the Todd is taking a step back. He did the hero work. He saved fucking Snitter, so I'm just going to take a sit back. You guys can do the killing, and I'm going to enjoy the spoils. So the Todd is a bit of a dick. Day 38, and the Todd has snuck off to eat eggs without telling Ralph or Snitter. Again, the Todd is a bit of a dick.
Let him go. And let him take contaminated chickens with him.
So could people assuming that Snitter and Ralph having the plague benefit them so people would leave them alone? Snow begins to fall and it actually starts to help them, as with more snow falling their tracks are being covered up. But this also slows down their travels because we then actually see someone's actually following them and is hot on their trail. But after an incident where they steal food out of a car, photos of the two dogs are now going public. People know what the two dogs look like, and it is fucking open season to anyone with a gun. Go catch these fucking dogs. I hate people. The snow has stopped falling and the tracks are becoming more obvious. And as Snitter and Ralph have been followed, the hunter's been followed by the Todd. The Todd with the distraction. Ralph's tag is shot off before the hunter falls, leaving the evidence behind, and when the humans find the hunter, desperation has truly kicked in as we see that the hunter is partially eaten. Now these dogs are assumed to be rabid, they are hostile, they are dangerous to the max, so now everything has hit the fucking fan. They believe that the dogs were tested with the plague, but as we know, it wasn't the dogs, it was the rats. And if we remember at the start, the rats were in a cage, which Ralph knocked over. Begging the question, while everyone else is looking for the dogs, where the rats at? Now the RAF, the army are involved, and a huge search is started in order to find the two dogs. Todd goes ahead to see what's happening. He even goes as far to trick the humans into following him with their dogs and letting Ralph and Snitter escape on the train. Snitter and Ralph do manage to escape on the train, but game over for the Todd. Snitter and Ralph make it away from all that shit.
It's the sea, Ralph. Like the Todd said, it's the sea.
But a copter has been following the two of them. They make a break for it through the town and to the sea. It was inevitable. The army is now there to terminate the dogs.
It's our island. Don't you see it? That's where we have to go.
He believes this is their chance to escape, to go and to run and to be free. They just need to swim through the sea first. But Ralph's afraid, and until it is absolutely necessary as the army approach, he's hesitant to go in the water, but finally does. Snitter hasn't had the experiments that Ralph has had done to him. He's starting to give up, but Ralph's supporting him. You can do this, you can make it, we're getting to that island. But now Snitter doubts if there even was an island, or if it was his imagination playing games with him. But with Ralph, he won't give up on Snitter. The two dogs swim on into the ocean, into the fog. And as the film ends, with the credits rolling, the fog clears, and we see an island. Now you would assume that, hooray, they see the island, it's there, it's a real island, they're gonna make it, this island of dogs, hooray! But then you listen to the music.
I don't need no pain no more.
It is safe to say that you will not find this film under the category of family, to say the least. You don't get films like this nowadays. I wonder why. You see, in the book, they didn't make it to the island. The army got them in the boats, they were cleared of all plague suspicions, and were actually sent to Snitter's lost master. He's not dead. The two dogs end up with Snitter's old master, and happy, happy, happy. Why isn't it like this in the film? This is how the book was originally going to end, before the editors and others suggested that Adams make it a happy ending. So with that in mind, what does this ending mean to me? Well, with the island in the distance in the credits, you would assume that they make it. But for me, the music is the real answer. But I think that the fact that the credits run from the fog to the island at the bottom to the dark and then it goes light, I don't see that as a happy ending that they want you to think. The dogs didn't make it. But instead of them making it to this island that Snitter saw, it's their peaceful transition to the afterlife. And because of that hope, because of everything that's happened within their lives, them being the victims throughout this. Best of luck in the afterlife. But what did you think of the Plague Dogs? What did you think of this ending? Do the dogs make it? Do they not? I want you to comment down below what you think. Also, I want your suggestions on what you think belongs on the dark side of the screen. Suggest anything, films, bring them my way and I'll check them out. Don't say Watership Down and don't say The Animals and Farthing Wood. Fuck off. Bring me something new and I look forward to seeing it. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below what your suggestions of what should be on the dark side of the screen next. Because when you subscribe, you get to see me torture myself. Because my name is Ash Lynch. And this was the Plague Dogs on the dark side of the screen.